Jezengoma. We were hired by the Kenya National Theatre. So after getting hired, we got fired on February 12, 1993. Music is not a walk in the park. What you put in is what you get. If you put in limited time, do not expect a miracle. So Jabali Africa music is not something, even when we are gone, we just want to leave a foundation. We want to nurture the next generation that's going to continue the spirit of Jabali Africa. And Culture Hub is that vessel that's going to nurture the upcoming artists that are willing to persevere. Yebo, 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 Bafana, yebo. When I say this is Africa, you say what? You say yebo. When I say this is Africa, you say what? You say yebo. Yeah, man. My name is Justo Asikoye, Jabali Africa, founder, one of the founders of Jabali Africa, and also the founder of Culture Hub. Yebo. Jabali Africa was founded many, many, many years ago. In 1993, February 12th, at the National Theatre, the Kenya National Theatre. Okay, Jabali Africa, I can say the mastermind. First of all, we were hired by the Kenya National Theatre. So after getting hired, we got fired on February 12, 1993, because we were part of the National Theatre dance troupe and also the music part, okay? So we got fired on the 12th of February, and we were 5 guys. We were actually 4 guys. There was Evans Jumba Chagala. There was my brother, Joseph Asikoye. There was Victor Savani Elolo, and myself, Mr. Justo Asikoye. So when we got fired, we formed Jabali Africa the same day underneath the tree. Underneath the tree, Kizungu ni mingi. Underneath the tree, the one that nowadays they have the parking, is a parking nowadays. Under those big gum trees, that's where we formed Jabali Africa in 1993. Because under that tree, there used to be a big rock that we used to gather, during practice and vibing, when we were meditating, meditation. We were chilling there, and, because after we got fired, we went at the same rock. We went to sit down there and contemplating, what was the next move. So we came up with a lot of names. Somebody suggested Jabali, Mwamba, because Mwamba is another name of Jabali, it's a big rock. And my brother came up with Jabali. We said Jabali Kenya. No, but we said no. We want to form a band that was going to represent the whole of Africa. So we came up with Jabali Africa, the rock of Africa. Because if you listen to the elements of the music that Jabali plays, it has all those elements. A cappella, percussion, traditional, and also a little bit of fusion in the modern, modern vibes. So we came up with Jabali Africa. And Jabali Africa stuck. I would say that upon this foundation, the coming generation or coming generations were going to learn from that music. And today, as we speak, many people or even schools play Jabali Africa music. Jabali Africa has 11 albums. But there's one particular album I can say, I cannot say is the best because every music to a music writer is great music. Whether it has 2 listeners, 3 listeners, the writer, and I'm speaking on my behalf, me as a composer and a writer, the music I write, every individual song has its own feel and vibe. But the best I can say, because the first album that we recorded is professionally, is when we went to America. That was Johnny. Johnny transcended borders, and that's where most of the music that you hear people playing today from Jabali Africa, most of the music came from Johnny. All those years, since 1993, how many years are those? That's 31 years. When we make our music, or I can say, let me say, when we make our music, we don't make it for the awards. Number one thing is you have to pick up something. The most important thing is not to win an award. If you are in music because of awards, then you're going to give up quickly because it's hard work that gets people to that level. So the number one thing when we write music, or Jabali Africa, we were here on a mission for people to learn, number one, to represent the culture, and for people to pick 1 or 2 things to learn from. Awards come in, automatically, depending with the activity that you're putting in. So we were recently, 3 years ago, nominated. We were nominated with the All One Tribe project that got a Grammy nomination. And I'm glad at least we were part of the project that got nominated for a Grammy. But also, again, we don't do music for awards. If you want to give up quickly, especially in music, I can tell you that because I've been in music for 32 years, is when you start thinking about awards and all this. Awards come in because people appreciate your works. Concentrate with the works, the awards are going to follow you. Yeah, Jabali Africa, when we formed Jabali Africa, we were 4 people. Then we added Stephen Wafula, plays the Litungu. Those are the additional people that we added in Jabali Africa. And then we came up, we added another person, the late Peter Mbole. And then we added Robert Owino. So Robert Owino was, we became 7. So out of the 7 people, you know how bands are. Now I know because I can tell you with my experience. Bands, people come in and go, but the foundation remained intact. So some of these guys left the band. Evans left the band. Peter Mbole left the band. Who else? Robert Owino left the band. And we recruited our manager. His name was, his name is Mr. Bernard Kapima. So he was a manager, but he ended up becoming an artist. So we remained 4 people when these other 4 people left. And then within or along the way, 2 more people left. We were left with my brother, and we came to learn that a band to survive is not about the number of members. It's the number of creativity, the music that you bring. Music is the lifeline of any band. If you're not creating, you're stagnant. When activity is there, then it breeds activity. Did you hear me? Activity breeds activity. So when you're in a band and you're not productive, that band is dead. So we came to find out the music It's what kept the band going. So I was left with my brother, and we've kept on. After these other guys left, we've had 4 more albums. Actually, the latest one, we released it last month. It's a children's album. Yeah, Baba, Mama, and Me. So we keep on, and right now, as we speak, there's more projects that are coming. So the music never stops. It keeps on going and going and going and going. All right? Yebo. All right, Jabali Africa, we are still producing music, and like never before. So as I said before, the music never stops. When you stop, that's it. But I can tell you also, music to each and every individual, I can speak on my behalf, is a spiritual thing. For me, I write about my story, other people's story, what I see, what I know, and also some type of imagination. You know, so Jabali Africa right now, we engaged in so many projects, and we actually working with other musicians from America, Caribbean, Africa. You know, there's many projects that are, you know, in the pipeline right now, and also as individuals, for people like me, I believe in the arts. I always say the beauty of arts is sharing. I'm someone who believes in the arts, and I'm putting up something that I put up in 2008, Culture Hub. For those who have seen me online there, you know, I've been doing Culture Hub live projects, you know. I can tell you, actually, it was some of the first projects that were seen live here. So I'm a firm believer of the arts. I believe good art needs or deserves to be out there, because I believe art also is a type of healing. You understand me? It's a type of healing. It's spiritual. So when we stop, everything stops. So, and also giving back, because since a lot of youths have tapped from our music and from where Jabali Africa journey began. We are the people who made culture cooler here. When the Kenyans, a lot of people are running away from the culture and being city boys. We are guys who are born in the city. We are just so urban, just like any other person in the city. We decided to seek and learn about our traditional music. That's who we are. This DNA is who we are. You can never run away from this. So Jabali Africa is a unique band that was formed for a purpose. And that purpose is to keep the culture going and also to explore other types of music. Okay. Apart from that, we have Culture Hub right now, which when I was in the United States, I came back here specifically to set up a Culture Hub, a hub for music, and also music that has a cultural link. Did you hear me? Cultural link. Cultural link is who we are. Music that represents us. So that's where Culture Hub came about. So right now, I'm the founder of Culture Hub. I'm running the Culture Hub project here in Kenya. And we can't stop. As I said, we can't stop. Everything starts with one step. We have to go step by step. And since this is something that is embedded in us, or in me, it's spiritual, you can't get this out of me. So Culture Hub is still alive. As long as I'm alive, Culture Hub is alive. And that's what I'm up to right now. Jabali Africa making music, and also Culture Hub nurturing artists. For those who can stand the heat. Because music, I say, music is not a walk in the park. What you put in is what you get. If you put in limited time, do not expect a miracle. And also, just because you can sing the highest pitch or 3 octaves, it doesn't mean that you're the best. Also, discipline matters. It's what you want. Your soul is what your soul wants. Did you hear me? Yeah. Whatever you put in is what you get. It's what you get. So you cannot expect a miracle to happen, and just because you are, I don't know. There's no superstardom in music. If you come with that type of mentality, you can never survive. Yebo. Okay, my future plans as Justo or as Jabali Africa. Let me again, because Justo is Jabali Africa and Jabali Africa is Justo. And my brother too is Jabali Africa and Jabali Africa is my brother. So Jabali Africa music is not something, even when we are gone, we just want to leave a foundation. We want to nurture the next generation that's going to continue the spirit of Jabali Africa. And Culture Hub is that vessel that's going to nurture the upcoming artists that are willing to persevere. Because I came here and recorded artists for free. I wish during my days I had a studio that could give me a session for free. All the Jabali Africa music was paid for. Was paid for by our own money. I wish somebody came up with a production and said, "Hey bro, I want to produce you for free." I would have recorded a million songs. You know, so that is what we're up to. And also it's up to the individual. It's up to the individual. Make me understand you. You know, make me understand you. I don't want to give you or to force you to get into my ideology if you don't agree with it. I'm here to nurture the people that I feel the vibe that is linked together. If the vibe is low, then we cannot proceed. Yeah, that's the future plans. Yeah, it's to produce or support the next generation of beat keepers and artists that believe in themselves and the ones that are ready to work hard. Culture Hub is my concept. And Culture Hub is a concept that's been there for about 15 years. From my touring with Jabali, as I said again, Jabali Africa is Culture Hub. Culture Hub is Jabali Africa. As an individual, because you cannot detach me from Jabali Africa. As I said, my DNA is Jabali Africa. But Culture Hub is a brainchild of Jabali Africa. And that is me, Justo Asikoye. So every artist has something that they believe in. I believe in the concept of Culture Hub and nurturing the next generation. And also things like archiving our music so that it doesn't disappear. Because my worry is the influx of electronic gadgets that are interfering with the culture in some way. Because I would say culture is a way of life. And we have our way of life. We have a way of how we do our stuff. There's danger in the mix-up of the culture. Because they say, a tree with deep roots stands firm. If you cut it, it grows again. But a tree with shallow roots, when there's floods, it goes. And it's gone and it's gone. So I'm still in that part of grooming the next custodian of the arts, the African arts. African arts is rich, and African music, you can find it in every other music that you hear today. From hip hop to R&B to blues to classical, there's African music in all that music. You need to understand that. So Culture Hub is here to nurture, even if it's two artists, but at least to make the continuity flow without without, what do you call it, without a hitch or without any interference. The advice I can give to a younger person, because even during our time, there was a lot of American music and European music playing on radios, blasting. Little did we know that music was going to become a cancer. There's nothing wrong listening to foreign music, but what about you? What story do you have about yourself? You understand me? What story do you have about yourself as a person and as a people? Because everybody comes where somebody comes from somewhere. Indians come from India. They have their own way of culture. It evolves, of course. Africans come from Africa. We have our own way of doing our stuff. Europeans come from Europe. They have their own way of doing their stuff. Chinese come from China. They have their own ways of doing stuff. They tell their stories and we learn from each other like that. What do we have from Kenya, or let me say from Africa, that we can share with the rest of the world? That's a question that you need to ask yourself. Go look it up. Yeah. So, again, to a younger person, you come from somewhere. Did you hear me? If you don't know where you're coming from, they're going to remind you, because somebody's going to come. Maybe you're doing a workshop, a music workshop somewhere. Maybe there's people from around the world meeting up. They will ask you, where do you come from? What type of music do you have? Because music tells a story from where we come from. It tells a story. And I remember the late Hugh Masekela told me one thing. And he said, if you want to learn about a people, go listen to the music. If you want to learn quickly, go listen to the music. It's going to tell you, it's going to summarize what they do, where they are. You're going to know a lot of things. You know, Jambo Buana na Barigani, you see, they sing about that song by Teddy Kalanda. You know, when you go to Europe somewhere, they ask you, do you know this song? It tells a story of where we come from. Yeah.